Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. In today's dry docking episode, we're going to talk about some of the next steps. Originally, we've been talking about closing the museum at the end of this upcoming week on Sunday, March 3rd. However, as we started to line up the contractors that are going to come in and actually do the work, we had thought that a 2-week period was going to be fine, but it wasn't enough lead time for all of them to get here. So we've already started doing the work, and consequently, the ship is already closed to visitors. So the next time she will be open to the public will be after we come back from dry docking, probably sometime in early to mid-June. She will be open for dry dock tours though. There's a link in the description if you'd like to sign up for one of those. So that will be your next chance to see the ship. So now that the ship is closed, what are the projects that we need to complete preparatory to going into dry dock? What are the things that we're going to be doing pierside here over the next 2 or 3 weeks before we actually start moving the ship? So obviously, you guys have seen one of the major ones was removing all the top hamper that was going to get in the way. That allows us to cross under the bridge. Another major one is dropping the ship's gangway. And here you can see we've already taken off the forward gangway. Now that we don't have guests coming on board, it's less important that we have an entrance and an exit. And just with the cranes that we're going to need here to do power and water and everything else, having extra cranes here doing the gangway, we're just going to get in each other's way. So we took care of that early. Here you can see some of the equipment we've already started to stage for the project. So the next projects up on our list are disconnecting all of the various utilities. So over here behind me you can see the heating water that's coming from the pierside boiler running through the ship's water system. You can see the 8 shore power cables that plug in. You can see sanitary water coming off of the ship. You can see back to the uninsulated one is the fire main water drawing from the river. So all of these have to be disconnected one at a time, and then oftentimes they have to be sealed up in some way. For example, when we disconnect the shore power, we have to then plug them into a generator, which has to be craned on the ship. When we disconnect sanitary, well, now all the toilets on the ship stop working. So we stop having staff come on, they have to start working from home. Disconnect the heating water, it's still February right now. It'll be early March, and this has been a kind of cold year here. So we're worried about stuff inside the ship freezing if we don't have heat on there, so we will end up putting a heating boiler on board, and then that has to be plugged into the heating lines. Power, when power gets disconnected, we're going to lose a lot of the life safety things like exit signs and things like that, so at that point we really have to stop having staff coming on board the ship. And then of course we get to the storm mooring chains have to be cast off so that the ship can actually move, and at that point she'll be just sitting here on mooring lines alone. And then of course things like phone and internet have to be removed, as does the cathodic protection, which is powered from the pier and then run to the ship from there. So there's all sorts of things, like dozens of different systems and subsystems that are going to have to be disconnected before we can move the ship. And we're going to film all that and cover what exactly goes into all those steps in the future. This video is about us being closed and what you're going to see us do over the next couple of weeks in particular. Of course, the final thing that we're going to do before casting off is the ship's mooring lines. So we're doubled up on many of the mooring lines now. We're going to single those up probably the night before we move the ship. And then the day of the move, we're still planning on leaving at high tide at 12:10 p.m., 12:10 in the afternoon. So that day we will be casting those off once the tugboats are holding the ship in place and I'm ready to take her off. Which part of this preparatory process are you most excited for? I'm obviously very excited for casting off the mooring lines. But let us know what you think is going to be the most interesting in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support the museum. There's also a link down there to get your tickets to the dry dock tours. You can also support the museum by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us in the channel. Thanks for watching.